say that you're very, very welcome here in Downing Street. So important for Ukraine, so important for Europe, and so important for the United Kingdom. So I'm much looking forward to our discussions here this afternoon. Thank you very much for making the time to come.
I saw a lot of people, and I want to thank you, people of the United Kingdom, such big support from the very beginning of this war. Thank you, your team. And I'm very happy that His Majesty the King accepted my meeting tomorrow, and I'm thankful that you organized such a great summit for tomorrow. And we are very happy in Ukraine that we have such strategic partner.
U.S. President Donald Trump will address a joint session of Congress Tuesday for the first time in his new term. Jeffrey Engel, the David Gergen director of the SMU Center for Presidential History, expects him to display a strong sense of confidence.
His tone, I think, is going to be triumphal. His tone is going to be, one might even say, imperial. President Trump has been saying consistently that he won a landslide election and a mandate from the American people. And the truth matter is, historically speaking, it actually was a very, very close election.
The address comes after Trump has signed a slew of executive orders in his first weeks after taking office, including several focused on slashing the size of the federal government, a project spearheaded by his largest campaign donor, Elon Musk, and his Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. The effort has served as another source of division among politicians and everyday Americans, one his upcoming speech won't be able to overcome, says the director of the Center for Politics at the University of Virginia, Larry Sabato.
You can be sure that half of the public will probably love whatever he says, and half of the public will absolutely hate whatever he says. And I don't think a speech can ever change that. Feelings run too strongly about Donald Trump.
While there will likely be various viewpoints about what he says, John Malcolm, who oversees work on the Constitution and the law at the Heritage Foundation, doesn't think there will be any debate about how he says it.
I expect that he will be respectful but pointed. He was actually, I thought, fairly measured in all of the other State of the Union addresses that he gave during his first term. But I think he's going to focus on the themes that he has been displaying at an incredibly rapid rate.
And how will Democrats respond to the Republican president? Sabato says they should limit the theatrics.
I think they can be quiet. They can sit on their hands. It's possible that some may walk out, as long as they do it responsibly without shouting and yelling or trying to interrupt the president. I think that's perfectly okay as well. What is not okay, and what will actually help Trump, which is the opposite of what they want to do, is if they start shouting epithets and interrupting Trump. That will backfire on them.
We were disappointed with what happened. We were hoping for a positive result of this meeting.
This is what is most hurtful, that the agreement has not been signed. To lose such a valued ally like the US is really stupid, however bad the relations are. Had the agreement been signed, I believe the words would remain just words. The agreement and the participation of the US in the mineral deal would stabilize the relations. Now it is very scary.
It is not Ukraine that is gambling with the Third World War. No. More likely, we are being used in this game as a bargaining chip. But we shall overcome. No doubt about that. With or without aid. Because we are a nation with a strong spirit. Neither Trump nor Putin can be trusted, but our president can. No question about that.
Some European leaders offered support to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and some urged diplomatic repair after an extraordinary clash at the White House with U.S. President Donald Trump.
You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
Trump threatened to withdraw support for Ukraine 3 years after Russia's invasion.
We gave you military equipment.
A new era of wickedness has begun, said German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock, who urged Germany to release an additional $3.1 billion in aid for Ukraine. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Saturday greeted Zelensky with a warm embrace in front of a London crowd.
Well, let me just say that you're very, very welcome here in Downing Street.
The pair sat down for talks ahead of a summit of European leaders that Zelensky will attend on Sunday to discuss a peace plan for Ukraine. French President Emmanuel Macron spoke to both Zelensky and Trump on Saturday and in an interview called for calm. Macron said Zelensky had told him he was willing to restore dialogue with the United States, including on a deal giving U.S. access to revenues from Ukraine's natural resources. But Macron did not say what Trump told him. NATO chief Mark Rutte said Zelensky needs to find a way to restore his relationship with Trump after the, quote, unfortunate spat.
And I gave you javelins.
Rutte said he told Zelensky, quote, we really have to respect what President Trump has done so far for Ukraine, reminding Zelensky that Trump was the one who provided Javelin anti-tank weapons to Ukraine in 2019 that had enabled the country's forces to fight back after Russia's invasion.
A clean-up operation was underway in La Réunion on Saturday after Cyclone Garance struck the French overseas territory. Local authorities said 4 people had died after the cyclone made landfall on Friday, bringing with it wind speeds of up to 96 miles per hour. In the island's capital, Saint-Denis, residents described water flooding into their homes and cars being carried away.
It was impressive. We didn't expect to see this torrent of water, and suddenly you see a car floating by. We thought it was the end of the world.
Garance made landfall in the north of La Réunion, which is located off Madagascar, blowing away roofs and cutting power. The prefecture said 953 people were being sheltered in centres, 160,000 households were without electricity, and nearly 10% had no access to drinking water. Rescuers from the nearby island of Mayotte, which itself was devastated by Cyclone Chido in December, were called in to help clear roads. That's according to the island's head of fire and rescue services, who said reinforcements were also expected from mainland France.